Live from San Antonio, Mike Taylor.
Pretty cool when you see the best who have ever done what they do in the wild. It's also pretty cool that we get to do this show and continue to do
a lot better at this YouTube.
our legendary bits like Ask Whip Tuesday, which is coming down right now. It is Taylor, presented by Elite Collision of Bernie, north of the rim off of I-10, locally owned and operated. If you get into a car accident, you know who to call to do body work, to get your fenders unbent, got hail damage, need some paint. Elite Collision Homes. It is family owned and operated, longtime Thunderdomers. If you ever get into an accident and your car is in need of some body work, they work with all insurers too, and of course they do private pay, but it's Elite Collision. EliteCollisionofBernie.com. When your car gets beat, call Elite at EliteCollisionofBernie.com. It's Ask Whip Tuesday. Mine today, I got a few. We'll get into them as we go. You boys see where they took down the big Indian chief over at the old Red McCombs car dealership?
About damn time.
40 plus years it was over there. I think it was at a different dealer. They put him up in 1977 at a different dealer, but I think since like the early 90s, I want to say, he's been up over the Hyundai dealer, Red McCombs Hyundai. So this last week, the dealership took him down. And there was not a lot of hullabaloo about it. It was noticed obviously, and it got a little blurb in the paper. But then we get a column today written by, let me pull her up, some gal that writes for the Express News.
Ooh, let me guess. Let me guess the content of the article before you unveil.
Okay.
She was pointing out the cultural significance of removing that statue and why it was long overdue.
Correct.
And gave a very
Correct.
I'm smarter than you history lesson on why it's offensive.
Therein lies my ass whip.
Figured as much.
The Express News now deciding that the Indian
Right.
was offensive.
Exactly. Now, after all these years.
The Hyundai Corporation now deciding, let's take that Indian down. Huh.
Well, and what was...
You don't have the balls to do it while Red's alive. You wait till the guy dies.
That's correct.
And you take the Indian down. Fuck you.
Well, and what was...
What an ass whip.
I think Hyundai's statement about it was it no longer aligns with the Hyundai brand.
No, Red McCombs died and we're no longer afraid of him, so we're going to take it down.
take it down.
That's horseshit.
Exactly what it
And
felt
fuck
like.
the Express News, too. And I can say that because I'm a subscriber. Elena Yala writes today in the San Antonio Express News, the giant Indian chief right arm outstretched high as if in greeting has stood out on Loop 10 since 1977. Hovering above the Red McCombs Superior Hyundai dealership, it looks as if it was posed to say how, like in an old Hollywood movie. Before its current location, it stood on Broadway over a Superior Pontiac lot.
There you go.
In all its San Antonio kitschness, the 26-foot tall statue has served as both a geographic landmark and an advertising gimmick. Whether the statue ever played a role in selling a deal, we'll never know, but it did help steer shoppers there. The figure's days are numbered now. Its future unclear, but its departure is long overdue, Elena Yala writes. However beloved by some San Antonians, the statue is a remnant of another era, an insensitive one, oblivious to the harm that it causes.
There it is.
So, man,
That's
my
the line
kids have
right
nightmares every night because of the Indian guy
Well, look,
overlooking the Hyundai dealership.
We can say there is some
fuck outta here,
cultural
man. It's my
offensiveness about the statue without
So? This
being
show's
over
culturally
the top.
offensive.
Sure, exactly.
Such figures first appeared in wooden form in tobacco stores and then in western tourist towns like
Elijah.
Tombstone, Arizona, where I recall seeing one in an old-fashioned trading post, she writes. Stoic chiefs, savage braves, and sexy maidens are also how Hollywood has famously depicted Native Americans. That knowledge was embedded in the U.S. psyche, and it prevailed. The late Texas A&M University archaeologist Austin Thomas called it, quote, a learned ignorance. Books, films, and shows that attempt to tell richer, fuller, multidimensional Native stories are still rare, but they're out there now. Consider the TV series. Okay, she goes on to tell me how it is culturally inappropriate to have a big red Indian overlooking a car dealership and how it's long overdue to take it down.
No one told me.
I am not going to debate with Thunderdomers over the cultural prejudice that calling it an Indian is not even right. I'm not going to debate whether or not it should have been taken down, but what whips my ass and what sets your people back, and this is the reason why your fuckers lose elections in this state, because you don't have any balls. The Express News decides to have a columnist write a column on that thing after it's safe and clear and Red McCombs is in the grave. That's my ass whip. Oh, this whole with Bud Light, CMT, after 2.5 months of running a Jason Aldean video with no one saying a thing, basically we'll put a boot up your ass if you fuck around in a small town.
Well,
don't come to our small town and do your protesting here.
It was also
Kick your ass.
a music video filmed on the steps of where lynchings took place in the South.
He claims he didn't know that.
Okay, so then
there ain't a courthouse in America in the South where something didn't go down.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not true.
That is true.
Not every city in the South would know. That's not true. That's not true. There were safe haven cities across the South.
You can't prove that they knew that was the case on that house.
Right. Okay. So then
you can't prove that Jason Aldean knew
the
that.
protest footage used in the video itself features Ukraine and Canada. It's not even like it's small town. And again,
that's not the point I'm making.
He's from Macon, Georgia. That's a population of 150,000. That's not a small town. Like, don't speak about small towns if you didn't actually grow up in one.
I agree with that. It's a dumbass song. It's completely ignorant, and none of the data, none of the analysis back up any of that bullshit. However,
it took them 2 months to cave.
Yes, fuck that
I
shit.
hear you.
That's what makes me not want to watch.
They should have caved day one, not 2 months later.
Right. Have the balls. Bud Light sticks a transgender woman on a promo one time, and she's acting like she's just now discovered college basketball. It was a horrible promo. Total ass whip.
And a waste of marketing money. Who are you trying to market to in that?
Exactly. But that being said, then they go for completely fucking gutless when a bunch of people get pissed off at it, and then it's just the pussification of corporate America and companies. Don't take a stand if you're not going to keep your balls out there. And if you change your mind, let's say, well, you know what? We did some reading. We evolved. I got enlightened. I didn't know it was like that. So no, bullshit. Country music television's taking it down because someone noticed after 2.5 months of running it. That's bullshit. The Express News now deciding that it's culturally inappropriate after Red McCombs dies. How much advertising dollars did Red McCombs spend in our paper over the years? Millions. And they don't do shit. They don't say shit about the engine. All of a sudden, he drops dead, and Homegirl's going to go write a column. That's bullshit. That's
you act like all these corporations referenced actually have principles, and their goal is not just maximize profit.
Well, I'm not going to accept it.
I'm
going to call their ass out.
That's literally what we're built on. Is just
no, it's not. Not everybody.
Ebbing and flowing with what to match with the society to maximize profit.
No, see, I'm not the nihilist. Absolutely, it's not every corporation's evil.
HEB donates to both political parties. They maximize their ability to turn a profit. Like there's no principles there.
This radio. Why do I say radio? This show would too. I support everybody and anybody that has a good idea and is kind and
good candidates,
wants things to do,
but not just blanket hello. Not just blanket donations to here's your side, here's your side.
I don't want to take this on this crazy route that if you're rich, you're an evil person. That's not true.
Who's
you own a
saying
company,
that?
You're not an evil person.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying corporations, by design, are intended to not take stances to maximize profit.
Well, they sure have been lately.
Right.
And then they puss out.
But again, they send one influencer a set of cans while also sending conservative influencers cans, but because they're trying to cover both their bases. Only one of them
gets any cans.
That's my whole point. It's all absurd to just point at one of their actions without acknowledging they do it all to maximize their profits, and that backfired.
But this is about the local newspaper, and if you go look at the replies to the column, it's 100% fuck you.
Yeah, figured.
Seriously.
80-20 at worst.
And I agree with a lot of the things that are said about Native Americans and how gosh, of course, in 2023, we've made a lot of strides in realizing, oh yeah, that was pretty fucking stupid. But we're not going to get into a fight over it. We're not going to go tear shit down. I'm not going to go riot because as a little kid, I just called them Indians because I thought that's what they were really called. I can evolve and change without being called an asshole and a racist and cancel the rest of my history. What I'm calling, that's different from what I'm saying today. When you take a stand after the guy who spent millions of dollars in your paper dies, then all of a sudden you give a shit about cultural inaccuracies
play
and
the moral
prejudice.
high
That's
ground
horseshit.
against your audience.
Yeah, and that winds up making people get pissed at your people, and that's why you can't win any elections. Anyway, that's all. That's it. I'm whipped to no end, and it's the other end of the spectrum with the right, with the country music television. All these people will now not watch CMT. But that's on. They pushed out.
Sure.
You know, they knew that video was up there. They didn't care until someone else did, and it got pointed out and it went viral.
Do you know what point? Like, who was
God,
the
no.
starting?
The powder keg.
The powder keg of that controversy.
I wouldn't get mad at you. I just get ass whipped by the pussies.
I enjoy
in this
riling you up when I know you're ass
No,
whipped.
I mean, Clint Eastwood had a great speech, about the pussification of this country.
Okay.
I agree with most of what he said.
Sure.
This country is full of pussies.
Just talk to the chair then. Just do that speech. I'll leave the room. You can just talk to the chair.
There are both, again, as a moderate American, I have to sit here and watch the far left and the far right play tennis. Back, and they're the loudest barkers, the small dogs.
Pickleball.
And the vast majority of us, that how it sounds, cluck, cluck. The vast majority of us just sit here with really no power. Also, a lot of the reason why I think the moderates in this country don't probably have the voice that they could have because we know better than to get involved because
We don't care about Bud Light
My life goes
controversies
on.
or CMT pulling a video.
Who gives a shit?
Could care less.
Yes.
It doesn't affect me personally.
Correct.
So why am I wasting time getting upset about
That's right.
it?
And the reason I'm bitching about this today is only because I'm a longtime subscriber of that newspaper, and I'm going to continue to be a subscriber. And it's not personal. I don't know Elena Ayala or whatever the hell her name is, but that makes y'all look like a bunch of fucking punks. Writing that on there. Write that shit 2 years ago when
Sure.
Red's alive. You didn't have the balls. So don't do it now. Makes you look terrible.
Do an article. You should have done an article every year for the last, 20 years since you realized it was so offensive?
Right.
Do an annual
Yeah.
article every year reminding people that statue's
Yeah.
still up and we don't think that's right.
Yeah, don't run any Red McCombs spots or in your
Take
paper.
a stand.
You damn sure
reject,
did, though, didn't
Reject
you?
profits.
Bullshit.
Reject profits because you are principled in your stance against the statute.
Massive ass
But
whip.
again, it's not about principles.
All right.
It's about profit.
I want to get to you boys' ass whips. I got to promote a live tasting we're gonna have tomorrow night. On Wednesday night at McFinnigan's, the official bar of Thunderdome, Irish Pub McFinnigan's, 410 in Blanco. We're going to have a tasting out there tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Live Oak Vodka, the official vodka of Mike Taylor Live. Highly recommended. They got a 91 score last year in the Ultimate Spirits Challenge. They have become the official vodka of our show. And they are based down in Beeville, at Coastal Bend Distilling, and part of the big branch, one of the big branches of Coastal Bend Distilling is Live Oak Vodka in Beeville, Texas. So come out there tomorrow night and sample some vodka with me. If you drink vodka, what do you put it in? Because I always just drink it with club soda and a little bit of lime, but it's getting boring.
Yeah.
How do I trick up my vodka?
Usually when I do drink vodka, it's in like a is it a martini vodka? That's vodka, right? Or is that gin? It can be both.
It can be either one.
That's
I
usually
hate gin.
Oh, see, a good dirty gin martini, a good dirty vodka martini. I'm in on that.
Well, what goes in vodka? Do you ever drink vodka, LG? Like ever?
Oh yeah.
What do you put in it?
I do like Bloody Marys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's got to be that's probably the most popular vodka drink.
Yeah,
or
okay.
vodka soda.
I forgot about Bloody Marys.
Cranberry vodka.
Cranberry.
Steph the roommate used to drink a lot of that.
I'm a big vodka and water or just vodka and ice on the rocks, just straight up. Yeah.
Well, if you score a 91,
Yeah.
you can put
Sure.
that straight up on
little
ice.
Pineapple, maybe.
Okay.
Any kind of juice.
Little tropical.
Lots of different juices. Yeah.
Something citrusy.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a tasting Wednesday night at McFinnigan's, the official bar, McFinnigan's Irish Pub. 410 in Blanco. So y'all come out. You can get a drink Live Oak Vodka. Just come out and hang out. But at least take a sample and make me look good with the folks at Live Oak Vodka. So that's the official vodka of Thunderdome. Live Oak Vodka, Texas-based, Beeville's own. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a tasting out of McFinnigan's. Okay, I didn't mean to get all mad and riled up. I cannot stand hypocrisy like that.
Buddy, I'm right
makes
there
me
with
nuts.
you. Hypocrisy of like singing a song that you didn't write about a small town you didn't grow up in.
Yeah.
Woo, man, that hypocrisy is an ass whip.
And
That's the worst part about that
It's
song.
one thing that Aldine lies about that part, but it's also not true that you'll get your ass kicked in a small town if you protest.
No.
How many protests have gone on in Uvalde for the last year and a half? No one got shot. No one's had their ass kicked.
Well, and if those boys
protested.
in Uvalde actually had the balls that Jason Aldean pushes out there as this, everybody in a small town's a badass.
Yeah.
If they actually had those balls, maybe things would have been different in Uvalde.
And I think the kid that did that was from Uvalde, as I recall.
Small town.
Yeah, it's just
It's such an ass whip.
It's a fucking ass
It's
whip.
the constant
both sides.
The constant
Both.
hollow mental back and forth that we play in our culture war society.
It's a great way to put it.
It is. It's just that. It's completely hollow. It accomplishes nothing. All it does is further divide us, and all it does is muddy us down in the issues that don't matter to our day-to-day lives, so that we can be blind to the way we're both, whatever spectrum you are on the political
Right.
party.
Sure.
It's all it's intended is to blind you from the way they're fucking everybody over.
Right.
It's not like they want us to fight about Bud Light so they can then give tax breaks to people that you're never going to come close to touching in terms of wealth or value. I mean, the fact that 7 dudes in this country own the same amount as 80% of the population, that's why they want us fighting about Bud Light, so they can get that number even higher.
Sure. Ugh.
It's fun.
Gigantic.
It's
So
fun.
what's whipping your ass today?
Have y'all noticed? It seems like, and maybe I'm just doing more driving, so I'm noticing it more. But it seems like something.
Lots of cars on the road in the morning.
Oh,
You just figuring that out.
well, yeah. And for the record, yesterday I was here at 9:21.
That's not so.
Today I hit some traffic, so I got here at
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
9:40.
I messed up your
And I had to
momentum.
get coffee.
You
No.
were saying.
It feels like there are way more items in the middle of the road this summer than has been in the past.
I
And
agree.
it's something for, we've been here 12 years now. For a decade plus, we've played roadside trash bingo. The roommate and I, anytime we're driving like from here to her parents up in Comfort Welfare area, we played roadside bingo. Is there, couch, recliner, bucket, ladder, what are you, pick your 5 items and let's see what you can find. Sunday when we were, it was yesterday when I was driving Steph, after I had picked her up from the airport. We're driving back home, and right in the middle of 37, 281 North, right at the Alamo Dome, right downtown, there is a mountain bike right in the middle of the highway.
Got it. Oh, like a freeway.
Yes, and it's in a middle lane. One car is already pulled off to the side because it looks like they ran over it. Another car hit it while we were driving next to them because we got over. And literally, it feels like I've seen a lot of things in the middle. I mean, full bumpers. I said, I had to dodge a recliner last minute one time when it fell out of the back of a dude's truck. But it's one of the things I find most endearing about this city, and one of add it to the reasons why I'll never leave. But it's also one of the things that drives me insane. Anytime I see a truck with 3 layers of junk stacked on top of it, I just think somebody's about to have to file an insurance claim in the next couple hours. That's correct.
God. All right. I beg you boys to subscribe to this madness. Hit that like button, Holmes. Become a member, too. It's just $6 a month. It's free to subscribe to our channels. The YouTube channel, if you subscribe to it, that's free. But if you want to become a member, that is just $6 a month. Help us out. It is YouTube and Spotify that we're most prominently on. Let's keep it rolling. Love You Hard TV, Mike Taylor Live, as a wonderful empire we're trying to build here, and we can't do without members of Thunderdome. So you boys jump in there and give us a chat. I try to get to all of the chats the day after because I can't do it during the show, obviously. But I do got to get better at getting back to the chats and such, and keep it coming. We appreciate the support we've had, and thank you for the likes and the shares and the subscriptions and the memberships. All right, LG. What 'twas whipping thy ass, why?
Yeah. Drive-throughs that have a person standing out before you get to the speaker and the menu, and they don't have a menu for you.
Oh, that's a good one. They just expect you to have the menu memorized.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a great one.
The Bill Miller's that's right down the street here. Not the greatest place to get barbecue or stuff, but I do it every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But they always have some girl out front that's like, in the morning I get the breakfast, so it's usually at 10 cars deep. It's popular.
Yeah.
But she comes all the way down and she's like, and I always know what I want. I get the same thing. But just to test the waters, I wanted to know if she had a menu for me. And of course
being
not.
a dick.
No,
I was like,
it's
I was
testing
just
the
testing the
waters.
waters. Yeah, I was seeing what would they do in a situation where somebody needed to look at the menu.
Yeah.
And she's got an iPad, so I was like, do they give me the iPad to look at the menu? And nope. She was like, well, no, I don't have a menu, but you can wait till you get up to the speaker to place your order. I'm like, why are you here?
Right.
Like,
At least at Evangelical Chicken Place, the people will have the menu hanging off their little tablet.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly,
they have a laminated
yes.
menu.
Yes.
Well, they
so
have a
you
massive menu, too.
Right.
And they also, that place you get to pull up along, a side like 4 people, and they come out and cater to each car. It's a little bit different there. It's a different system.
Yeah,
to play
they have hyper efficient drive-through line. Like
best.
they've made it
At least
they're the benchmark.
here they do. Here in Austin, I think they've got it down. Like they have the best efficiency of their drive-through. That
No, my
place
both
that we
my
haven't named.
my two oldest both worked at Chick-fil-A, and I don't
there
know why
we go.
y'all have a weird part with problem saying people's
Well,
names.
because they're not paying us.
Oh well, I mean,
If Cleto can get McDonald's, let's not give these people free marketing.
I interviewed that weirdo CEO of Chick-fil-A at an opening
did?
one day. He is a weird dude.
isn't he dead
Is he
now,
a Cathy family?
Yeah,
member,
his
or-
name was Dan Cathy.
Okay.
Dan Cathy was his
okay.
name,
Well,
and he showed up in pajamas and played the bugle when the store opened for the first time. He played Riley.
Sounds
You
like
know
a guy
what?
I want to hang out with.
Yeah, how do
y'all
you
talking?
hate on that?
Anyway, the point I'm making is it's not
But
just
if a millennial does that, they're a slob, and there's no room for that in the workplace.
if they come to work late while doing it.
But if a millionaire CEO does it, it's fine.
I'm trying to make a goddamn point.
Sorry.
Those restaurants are ran
Don't
efficiently
apologize.
everywhere. I've been to them everywhere I go.
I've-
Honolulu, Fort Worth, Granbury. They're awesome.
Well, this goes back
both
to that.
my kids worked at a
This goes back to
Chick-fil-A.
that QR thing. Give me a fucking menu,
I
please.
feel-
Just give me a
Again,
menu.
I feel like he has a vendetta against the disappearing menu.
Right. Well, okay, just to play devil's advocate, what does Bill Miller even have other than tacos in the morning?
Hold that.
You know what they got.
Do y'all have
some
y'all
good stuff.
never been around someone that has to look at the menu every time they go somewhere?
I mean, you never know when there's a new item.
I'm sure. But I'm talking a place like In-N-Out that has never had a new item in its full years of existence.
Yeah.
And still need to look at the menu just to like get in the mindset of trying to make the decision.
No, not that I can recall.
Buddy, consider yourself lucky.
Okay, why?
For
what I
12
don't like is the person who takes forever to order when everybody already has. Let's go.
For 12 years,
Have an idea what you want.
I have had a roommate that no matter how many times we go to the same places,
Distance.
has to see the menu. No, she would be very comfortable with me bringing it up because
Okay.
it's been a constant point because it drives me insane sometimes where I'm like, if I say, do you want to go to Chick-fil-A?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, sure. Chick-fil-A has the same thing they've always had. They had the same thing last week since we got it.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing new. And every time it's like it's I'm telling you, it triggers a mindset. It's like it gets her in the mode to make a decision. Like she can't make the decision
Part
without
of the
seeing
prep
the menu.
of the whole thing.
Exactly.
Like stretching before work.
It
Must
blows
be
my
done.
it blows so like I don't know how we would handle the Bill Miller's issue.
I know how to handle
We
this.
just have to wait till we get to the window.
All right, let's do a bit and go to Bill Miller's this week sometime after the show and get lunch. And we'll go and hopefully we'll choose like 12:30 when we know that they'll be busy. And when the rando in the parking lot with no menu comes up to the car, let's just do a bit and whip their ass. Y'all got burgers?
Oh, I
Y'all
like this.
Y'all have ribs?
You know what we could do?
Oh, I like this
Let's just-
a lot.
We could.
Y'all got spaghetti?
We could.
Yeah, I want spaghetti.
Wait,
Y'all have
wait.
that?
No, okay,
I
scratch
thought y'all
that.
made homemade.
How about some 5-layer lasagna?
Yeah, let's just fuck with them.
How about we bring back the sandwich challenge?
We should bring
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna write that down. Well, in this term, we'll go to
Let's go to order a
we'll go to
sandwich at Bill
Chicken
Miller.
Shack and we'll order well, they've got chicken sandwiches now.
Sandwich.
Go to Chicken Shack and try to order a barbecue sandwich.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we're all over the place. It's okay. That's because we have amazing chemistry. The day that we get to 10,000 subscribers, I'll stop using names of companies. Because at that point, there could be potential monetary value while we
being
only
lost.
have 1,800 or whatever, it's called Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
All right. And
It's called
the official soccer club of Thunderdome, San Antonio City. Yo, we're out here at San Antonio City Soccer Club's Northside location off of Speck Road. 8 beautiful soccer pitches we just built out here. Looks gorgeous. Grass is nice and green, keeping it nice and green even in the summertime. But now we got to start the other phases. Right this way, we're going to start building where I'm standing, it's going to turn into a bunch of bleachers. So we need bleachers. We're going to have some food trucks out here, places for people to park. We're just getting started, and we need your help, Thunderdome. We need to put sponsors' names on these fields. If you're interested in helping out the official soccer club of Thunderdome, San Antonio City Soccer Club, hit me up. I'll tell you how to do it. It is the San Antonio City Soccer Club. Need your help, Thunderdome. Help these kids. For the kids. All right, and that's me standing out front of what's going to become Thunderdome Field.
Oh, that was it?
I think so. Yeah, that first one.
Spectacular.
Oh, dude. Thank you.
Presented by
Sunburst Gymnastics. Thank you to Sunburst Gymnastics for stepping up and becoming the first ever sponsor of one of our pitches, one of our fields at San Antonio City Soccer Club. You too can join Sunburst Gymnastics. Put your name on one of these fields. Field name rights to be renamed after your company for the duration of an agreed sponsorship that y'all can, that's between you and them. I'm just here as a middleman. I'm here to hook y'all up, and I can introduce you to the guys you need to get introduced to in order to sponsor one of our fields. They're way up north, 1604 in Blanco off of Speck Road. There's 11 total soccer fields up there. Practice, tournaments, other activities go up there. We'll have some picnics up there as a Thunderdome Familia. There's always people at these fields, whether it's soccer or whatever, and they're going to see your sign. You're going to get tons of run on this show, like Sunburst Gymnastics is. You're going to get lots of love. It is the official soccer club of Thunderdome, San Antonio City Soccer Club. Thank you to Sunburst Gymnastics for stepping up and becoming the first one ever. Let's get a bunch more and just name of all things after us. Just take over the league.
Had a couple other ideas come in yesterday post-show.
Were they appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gallina's Field.
I like
That's
it.
not bad.
Roosters.
And you could have
Puro.
Gallina's Field presented by a Chicken Shack. Chicken restaurant.
Okay.
Or even Bill Miller's doing the chicken sandwich now. Yeah,
not roosters. Gallinas.
Right.
Yeah.
What was it, Jim Adler's?
Oh, yeah.
Don't pull that.
Don't take a target the Gallinas in the El Hammer Sledge-O.
Sounds like he's dying. Sounds like he's Ron Paul having a stroke.
All right, y'all. I was going to get into this. I wanted to make sure my daughter was okay with this first, and her bosses were. Because her boss reached out to me yesterday.
Oh.
And wanted to know because I took a picture of the butter cake dessert with my wine. I normally don't take pictures of my food.
No, you went full foodie.
Oh,
you went full. Oh my God!
Oh.
I can't wait to show Nina this. She's gonna be blown away.
I was making happy.
She's gonna be so jelly.
Oh God!
I'm gonna send her to jelly school.
I became that influencer over the weekend.
Boy, yeah. No, you were just being an influencer. Right. You're just doing your job.
Right. You're
working on the weekends.
Yes, my daughter did make that, and I'm happy and proud, and I was happy to become that influencer because my kid made it. So me and Puma, we had some beers at Burleson Beer Garden. There's free publicity.
More free pub. Hey, you're welcome, Trevor and Josh.
That's how it starts. And then
I should give them free publicity for all the.
They should give you some. How much money have you spent in there,
buddy?
Thousands.
So
me and Puma hung out there for a couple of hours, and then I wanted to go over to where my daughter works in Southtown. Bliss. And
you could have just. Now you're gonna have people.
I'm a hypocrite.
Showing up to be. Oh, is this the place where Taylor's daughter works? Oh, I want to get one of them.
Give me the butter
Give me
cake.
that.
I need Sarah to make it.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
want
gotta,
it. Great.
Only person that can touch it, or I'm not eating it.
Right. So I hadn't been over there. This is where we had that viral picture of Pop and Wimby and Manu and David. My kid works there, and coincidentally, and so me and Pumba decided to go over there because I had not gone over there. That's a fancy schmancy place, and needed to try the dessert and look at the menu before I decided how much money I'm going to need for dinner the next time we go.
It's not
It's a lot.
It's not like crazy
Not
fine
crazy,
dining.
but it ain't Chick-fil-A.
No, it's
it ain't
not
Bill
the
Miller.
Follette. No.
So we go in there, and we're going to sit at the bar. We're not going to sit down. It wasn't for dinner. I wanted to have a glass of wine. I was going to have a cup of coffee. We got there, but it was like 8 o'clock. I'm like, well, I can't have coffee at 8 o'clock. So I got a glass of Riesling.
Mike never has a second cup of coffee at home.
I have
That's
lots
the
of coffees.
The airplane reference.
Passed on the coffee, ordered the wine, and got the butter cake. And as soon as we walk in, and I just want to sit at the bar and have dessert. No problem, sir, because I don't have a reservation or anything. We just cold called the place, and they sit us at the bar. It's a small bar in there, and as soon as I walk in, immediately 1 second, I'm like, holy shit, that's Pop. Pop was sitting in there at the bar.
Okay, hold on, because you need to set the scene. It's a bar of only 4 seats.
Yes,
And it's
tiny.
right as you walk in the door.
Correct.
It's immediate, like you cannot miss. It's the first thing you see when you open the door. Mm-hmm. Pop is sitting at the door, at the bar stool closest to the door.
Far right.
The far right.
Yep.
So there's 3 seats to his left down the line. That is
Right.
the bar.
Yep.
You got there first.
Yep.
You walk in first.
Yep.
You experience that. You wisely leave a chair between Pop.
Time out.
Okay.
I had no choice. I couldn't sit right next to him. They had a reserve sign there.
Ah, there it is. Okay.
And that's understandable, by the
Sure,
way. I
of
get
course.
that.
Yeah.
They don't want him getting his ass
No.
whipped by randos.
Like,
yeah, that's fine.
Especially not.
Well, he probably looked at...
Yeah, okay.
You just can't help him. Like, it's such a small place. When you open the door, you can't help him just kind of look up and see who comes in.
Sure. You not just
As soon as I walk
instinctually.
in, I immediately saw him, and he looks up, and he goes, oh, okay.
Straight
His hand
down.
went straight down.
Pick
Oh,
the phone
shit.
up.
God dang it. And he starts, and then Pop grabs his phone and starts
He's not texting
scrolling.
anybody. Yeah, he's just
Checking his
doom
TikTok.
scrolling Twitter. Yeah, he's seeing what's trending on TikTok, seeing what the next big dance craze he's gonna do is.
Not gonna say anything,
Sure.
It's like when you see guys in the wild, you don't bother them like that,
Unless you're some dumb bitch at Walgreens.
Well,
who,
she's a dumb bitch.
she got the big middle finger of Timmy for it.
Covering the games with a credential. Sure, go down and ask Pop questions, only for him to tell you that your questions don't make sense. That's
And you
great.
don't belong there to begin
Yeah,
with.
but when you see him in the wild, you don't bother the man.
Sure.
Unless you're invited, which I was certainly
We were
not going to.
certainly
get.
not. So-
but yeah, that was the scene.
So that's how.
Yeah.
So you got there first. You sit a seat separate from him.
See,
I send you a text that says, or you send a text that says, right inside at the bar.
yep,
And I reply, okay, cool, parking. And then I put my phone in my pocket.
you didn't get that text.
Unbeknownst to me,
Yeah.
you immediately sent a second text
Mm-hmm.
that said, all it said was, we're sitting next to Pop.
Right.
If I had read that
Yeah.
before I walked in that place, it might have been a different set of emotions as I was opening that door because, first of all, something you'll learn about me, like right now, I can't see LG at all whatsoever. I have no peripheral vision at all. Like I cannot see anything right here at all. I can't even see my hand right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's bad.
You can get your ass whipped.
That's how I'm going to get killed. Someone's going to catch me from the side. Or so I'm going to get shot by an arrow from the side.
Right.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I never saw the text, have no peripheral vision, so I couldn't see who we were next to.
Yeah.
I come down and I'm just normal. I'm bitching about parking and I sit down next to you at the far end of the bar.
Right.
Still have no idea Pop's next to us. I put my phone down, and as I put my phone down, you're just doing this. You're going,
I was waiting on you to notice.
right. And you're just kind of giving me this like nodding, like smile. And I'm just like, what is your problem? And I pick up my phone because I'm thinking like, all right, I'm going to
I'm
check
surprised
it.
you didn't see because your peripheral
Because
vision
I can't
sucks.
see anything.
Yeah,
And I
geez.
wasn't, and I'm not the kind of person that if there's a person sitting at the end of the bar. I'm not doing the full up and like they have no impact on my life. It's not going to affect me.
Sure.
I'm coming to meet with you. I don't care who that person is.
Right.
Even if it's Pop, apparently.
Right.
So I walk in and I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to check because one thing I like to do is check my phone when we're at a restaurant one time when I get to the table and then put it away. Like I don't want to touch it again while I'm in a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing my routine and I see I have a second text message from you. And soon I'm holding the phone just like this and I'm reading it and I read it. I'm like, we're sitting next to Pop. And I look at you and I'm like, what do you mean? And then you just slowly do this, lean back, and I turn and look. I'm like, holy fuck, that's Pop.
Yeah, Puma sat
That's
down
Pop.
and still didn't notice him. Yeah.
That's Greg Popovich
That is
right
Pop,
there,
yeah.
3 seats away from me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I decided to write about it. I'm not going to read you the whole thing, and of course, I'm going to give you the rough draft here anyway. God knows this is the pre-edit. I was motivated by that. So and it's funny enough, they bring my daughter up to Mrs. Bliss. She shows up to say hello.
JC and Sale's cousin was his younger cousin
Which
was
is
our
completely
server.
random.
Gave us free apps and
But
stuff.
Mrs. Bliss comes up obviously to say because Pop was getting takeout and they brought him his sack and he left and she came to say thanks for coming. See you next week. Apparently he's a regular, comes in a lot. And the general manager comes over to introduce himself to us, and I'm telling him, yeah, he's like, you're Sarah's dad, right? Yeah. So he went and got my daughter, brought her up to the front, and it was sweet. We took a picture in there and everything else. But I'm going to read you a little bit of what I wrote, if y'all will indulge.
Please indulge.
I'm not going to read you the whole thing, obviously. And this is, when this post to Sports Illustrated, it's obviously this is the pre-edit. He had a spot that was reserved next to him. He was sitting there alone, so obviously the empty spot was so nobody could sit directly next to him, which is completely understandable. But there I was, 2 seats over from the best who ever did it. The 5-time NBA champion, the reigning gold medalist for the United States men's team, the all-time leader in wins in both the playoffs and regular season. Pretty soon, the bartender brought him his to-go bag. The owner came over to thank him, and off he went. I'm pretty sure he noticed me, but it's not like he was going to chat me up. That gruff guy he is all the time with game reporters, yeah, he's not joking. It is the first time in many years living in and out of San Antonio that I've seen Pop out somewhere, so it was kind of cool. I've covered many games, of course, but this was 2 guys at a bar. As he walked out the door, the fan in me took over my thoughts. Popovich is 74 years old now, but still has the world by the you-know-what. Victor Wembanyama. Brand new out-of-this-world practice facility. Talks of a new arena and a newly inked 5-year extension. The timing of me running into him seems peculiar. I find myself so excited for the upcoming season, I can hardly stand it. He won't be the coach of the Spurs forever, but it sure sometimes seems like it. Off he went, out of the... Now, I try to get all poetic here because I'm writing a column. Off he went, out of the restaurant and back to whence he came, holding a bag of food. Holding the keys back to glory for the Spurs, holding the keys to the indescribable mood this city gets in when the basketball team is good. Enjoy your dinner, GOAT.
Come on, okay.
Yeah, I got that. That gave me goosebumps.
I mean, there were
just the timing of where we are right now with the Spurs and how things are back on the up and up, and it's pretty sweet to see him in there. And it was cool to see the old guy having dinner. And of course, we didn't bug him, but it was neat that we happened to be in there.
Could have mentioned it was 3 people at a bar, and your partner in crime was
I mentioned
along
you
with
early
you.
in the column.
Okay,
we'll see what they do. It's been, I'm sure it's been torn apart by people that know how to write.
There's a large part of me that does regret as he was walking out, just being like, "Hey, Pop, so 20 and 10 from Wemby this year?
Oh, geez.
Is that the baseline? Is that what we're looking for?
You were going to play Freebird, Greg Popovich?
Pretty much, yeah. hey, Pop, play Freebird. Play Creed.
All right. I don't know who Pop uses when he buys homes. You should use the official mortgage man of Thunderdome, Hardwick Mortgage. If you're thinking about upgrading or wondering how much you might be able to afford or not, call to get pre-qualified with my guy Brad Hardwick, the official mortgage man of Thunderdome. Home values have increased significantly in recent years. You can use equity in your house to pay off other debts. Get some needed cash in your pocket if you're in the market to buy a home yourself. Hardwick Mortgage can shop across multiple lenders all over the area to get the best deal. Maybe you're looking to purchase a new or even a used manufactured home with some land. Get out there in the country. Maybe you just want to buy some acreage. They can do that too. It is hardwickmortgage.com. The information presented is for informational purposes. This is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Information and or dates are subject to change without notice. All loans subject to credit approval. Other restrictions may apply. As a result of refinancing, your total finance charges may be higher over the life of the loan. Visit hardwickmortgage.com for more information. It is Hardwick Financial Services, Inc., NMLS ID 1972012. hardwickmortgage.com. hardwickmortgage.com. All right, so I did find that to be poetic, seeing him in there like that at this particular moment. It's cool.
Yeah, and I think the roommate and I were talking about this yesterday or Sunday whenever I was telling her, the story of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And she mentioned how she's kind of surprised with as much as we do go out, not necessarily in all parts of town, mainly downtown, Southtown.
Yeah.
She was mentioning how she is kind of surprised how we don't see the players more often at the restaurants and bars, lounges, whatever that we go to. And it kind of got me thinking with, Wemby now he's eaten at Bliss twice, minimum we know of. Pop's there all the time. The average age of this roster is 23. It kind of makes me think like
maybe they're at Bill Miller waiting in the line.
Yeah, they're asking for Zach Collins is saying, "Hey, can you just go get me a menu? I need a menu."
It would be Zach Collins.
It would be
He'd
Zach Collins, the Pacific Northwesterner. Like, how do you expect? I didn't grow up with this. I need a menu. What do you think I am? No, I think we might start seeing more of the younger core guys out in public more because if this thing does start, if this turnaround is as accelerated as you believe it is, they're going to want to be in public to experience the love that they're going to receive as they all grow together. And like I said, I mean, that core is dudes that are basically 19 to 23.
Yeah. It's exciting, man.
And they're young dudes. They're going to want to go out.
It's a massively exciting time. I've read a lot of details about the Rock up at La Cantera that's just about done and how just unbelievably innovative this is. Like R.C. Buford, he and his people went around the world studying the most high-tech, most efficient, proficient, technological advancements that they could use in building this facility they've got that they want the community to be able to use too. It is state-of-the-art. I doubt Pop's terribly fired up about it. Maybe he is. He's probably, knowing Pop, he's probably like, I don't want to leave the old place. What the hell are we doing? He's an old man. He just wants to go to the same place, but apparently it's going to be super badass.
Yeah, Pop would prefer those Popeyes dumbbells that
the old school
our world's strongest Latino uses instead of whatever hii tech thing RC's research.
No. Pop, obviously, he's a young 74. I'm just goofing. He's an evolutionary dude, man. That's the reason why he's the best is because I don't think anybody else takes this roster, these kids like that, and he's 5 generations older than them, amidst all this technological advancement, and still is able to keep the room. It's not just because he's Pop. If he was in there, blowing bubbles and was sharting himself and was too old.
Or showing up in pajamas with a bugle or whatever, a recorder.
Or smelling hair like Biden, the players would tune him out. But they don't. And it points to how just badass he is to be able to go in there and still have the impact. And by the way, who's the youngest kid on the team? Wembanyama, the most important kid. And it's this 74-year-old man we saw getting takeout that has that kid's entire future in his old hands.
Hypothetical.
And they wouldn't be doing it if he couldn't still do the job.
If Pop he's just as good of a coach as he is right now. Mm-hmm. We all still agree he's got every capability and no one's close to him in terms of coaching ability.
Right.
But he trips and falls once a week like Biden.
Well, I mean, I have to see it.
Okay, right, that's what I'm saying.
It's not going to happen.
No, but I'm saying, like, I think there would be a lot of, like, no matter how good of a coaching job he was doing, there would be a lot of people like, yeah, but he trips and falls once a week. I think he's probably getting a little too old for this.
And when all your constituents are all 22, 23, and the most important one's 19, I think it would probably be an issue.
That would probably be bad optics.
It's not.
I love that hypothetical in my head of Pop being the greatest, the Spurs getting back to championship level, but as he's walking to get the trophy from Adam Silver, just trips right there at center court like Biden walking off a stage after a speech.
Wembanyama has talked about Pop's fitness and how it motivates him even to walk into the room and there's Pop in there on the elliptical, on the bike.
Two totems of their own universes.
Absolutely. Hey, Puma.
Oh, God. Hey, Mike.
Is butt cheeks one or two words?
I don't know, Mike. Is butt cheeks one or two words?
I don't know. I'd have to spread them apart and find out.
Oh, my God.
We were rolling.
We need a better interstitial than a butt cheek dad.
Well, that
joke.
was it for today. All right. I had an ass whip a couple of weeks ago, and I'm gonna reissue it today briefly. With support for Jeff Traylor, the official college football coach of this show, who I need to get on this particular show. They're having media day at the American Athletic Conference. What is it, at the Metro
It's up in
Sex?
Dallas. Did you see how they traveled there?
Private jet, bitches.
PJ, baby.
You bet your ass. Once again in the paper, an article on Joshua Cephas, the all-conference wide receiver who got a DWI last year, who was suspended from the team, missed the bowl game because of his DUI, but all of a sudden, because the wheels of justice spin slowly, and we have so many idiots, and so the system, in defense of the system, gets backed up because people get popped for this every day.
Unless you're a local city councilman.
Unless that. But Joshua Cephas
Involved
is not.
in a hit and run, even though Cephas was a one-vehicle incident.
Right. Came clean, has
no
been
one was
completely honest. He self-report, called Traylor the next morning to tell him all about it. And as far as UTSA was considered, it's long over with. But no, because all of a sudden now he's being charged officially 9 months or 7, 8 months later. We have to read all about it in that wonderful paper that I'm pissed off at today. And I love Traylor's comments. I don't know why you asked me about it 6 months ago, and we punished him. And he's one of the best players we got, not just on the field, but in the locker room. He's a captain. There's a reason he wears a single number. We love him. He was dumb. It's over with. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Basically.
What else do you...
Yeah, stop asking me about it. It's almost a year ago.
What are for someone that wants to readdress that story, what are their expectations? Like, what do they expect UTSA or Traylor to do?
I know. It's like you want him to get suspended because you decided 9 months later to write about it again?
And now, what do you want him? I mean, do you want it? What, a 6-game suspension? Do you want him to never play at UTSA again? Like, what is your bloodlust for discipline for this kid at this point?
Right. And if UTSA,
do you think he didn't get enough discipline in the first place?
No, they're just filling space in the paper.
Exactly.
And I'll guarantee.
And it's going to get clicks.
And if UTSA then decides to go ahead and let's just punish him again, then the same paper 2 weeks later writes, was that too harsh? Or Mike Finger bashes Jeff Traylor because he was too hard on the kid.
Cephas could have really been useful in that field goal loss to Houston in the season opener.
So let me bring this back full circle to my original opening ass whip of the day, and that is the overreaction to everything in this fucking society. And the word I've been using, my word of the year is overcorrection. I use it all the time. We overcorrect things.
Our society is being driven by 10-year-olds on a highway. Just we're too far left. Oh, I gotta go right. Oh, God, we're going back.
Correct. And this is another example of it. And again, there's no reason to overreact and take Big Red down from the damn car dealership unless they decide. But Hyundai decided to. It's their company. It's their corporation. They decided to do it. And the paper reported on it last week. What I don't need is some dumb columnist now telling me after Red McCombs is dead and it's safe because you were too fucking scared to call him out when he was alive. That makes you look weak. Okay, fine. Report in the paper that Hyundai decided to take the big chief down, which makes Hyundai look pussy too because they wait till Red's dead.
Yeah, it's funny how all of a sudden it's conveniently
Correct.
inappropriate now. Right.
Well, we've had enough.
Internal discussions have led us to this decision.
40 plus years, it wasn't.
We've been
offensive.
talking about it for 38 of those years, but we finally came to our conclusion randomly right after he died.
Yeah, randomly. Bullshit. But so I get that the paper has to report on Hyundai deciding to take the thing down. It's a news. It's news. What I don't want is the columnist 2 weeks later in a gutless, posthumous thing calling out Red.
I'm assuming that was an opinion piece.
Yeah,
and not part of the. Okay.
Yeah, it's commentary.
Yeah.
And screw her. You should have wrote that when he was alive. If you really were that sensitive to the plight of the Native American prejudice, then this country is so unfortunately infamous for being known for. Write the fucking column before the old man dies, or else don't write the column. Makes you look shitty.
And also, don't go see Oppenheimer because the U.S. government just kicked a bunch of Latino and Native Americans out of their homes to take that testing site so they could drop bombs on the people's houses and belongings.
Whatever. If we get wrapped up in everything, we'll never do anything.
No.
It's insane.
It's
we
again,
overcorrect.
It's paralysis as intended by the powerful class,
Ridiculous.
by the wealthy class.
R&R Auto Glass, get us out of the ditch. The official auto glass repair company of this show. What do I call it? I always want to say radio show. I've said radio for 25 years.
Just show.
Our show. Whether you're listening or watching, R&R is easy to find. Easy to find, right by the airport at 281 in Tacoma. So it doesn't matter where you live in this city. They're easy to get to. Let's say you're going, northbound on 281. You exit and take a left on Tacoma. They're down on the left-hand side. Make sure you mention me. They take all insurances. They're fast, locally owned by San Antonio people, and they'll give you a Taylor hookup. Get the Taylor Especial when you go into R&R Auto Glass. Zach Martin is not in Oxnard. He was not on the airplane when the Cowboys flew to Oxnard yesterday for training camp. I'll just quickly repeat what I said yesterday. I get it. He's grotesquely underpaid. Clearly, he's got animosity toward them over it. And there's no way they're not caught blindsided by this. They've been negotiating. No question, his agent's been in Stephen Jones's ear for months. We need to take care of Zach. He's given up way too many back-end dollars to make room for y'all's salary cap. He's been a good soldier. Now he's way underpaid. Way too many guys that play his position make too much. Need to get Zach a raise. They didn't do it, so Zach's like, well, guess I'm going to chill. So Zach Martin's not an Oxnard. Right now, it's not a problem. In 3 weeks, it's going to start to become worrisome. And I don't know. I mean, he makes a lot of money, but $50K is the fine a day.
Are you caught up on how that works now, too, under the new CBA?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. So it's a $50,000 fine every day he misses.
Correct.
In the past, in old CBAs, teams could waive those fines if they came to an agreement on a contract extension. Mm-hmm. So they could, in turn, say, we're going to fine you, which in Zach Martin's case, if he misses all of training camp, it'll end up being $2 million. But in the past, the Cowboys could say, hey, we're going to waive those $2 million worth of fines because we came to an agreement and you've rejoined the team. Mm-hmm. So now, under the new current CBA, as I understand it, only guys that have 1 year remaining on their contract are eligible to have their fines waived.
Okay.
Zach Martin has 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
So these fines that he's going to face cannot be waived by the organization.
He's got to pay them.
Or the Cowboys can tie in
take it off the
$2 million into the deal that will basically be a handshake agreement. Hey, here's the money to cover your fines as part of your extension.
Right.
But he's going to be fined starting tomorrow.
That's a lot of cash.
And what are we? We're about an hour and 5 minutes away from Jerry's State of the Union address. Mm-hmm. That'll be topic number one.
Absolutely. Other news items today. The Giants running back Saquon Barkley has taken a knee. He has caved in the face of facts and data and he's signed the franchise tag, and he's signed with the Giants for 1 year, $11 million. He's probably not happy about it, but hey, he'll have to make do on that $11 million he'll make.
So technically, I don't think he signed the franchise tag.
The new contract?
He signed a 1 year deal for franchise tag money, also with a couple $1 million in incentives tied. So if he rushes for 1,300 yards, he gets $1 million.
Okay.
If he has 11 touchdowns, he gets $1 million. If he has 65 receptions, he gets another $1 million, something like that. So the base salary is the exact salary of what the franchise tag would have been.
Because that deadline passed.
Correct.
And he didn't sign it.
But they tacked on some incentive-based clauses, so he can make more than that. Also, in the contract, it doesn't include a franchise tag non-exemption. So they can franchise tag him again at the end of this season.
Yep, and they probably,
of course they will.
And they should.
That's exactly what they'll do.
I would too. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it goes.
There is a kicker on, and this is something I want to talk about as we go through Cowboys training camp.
Yeah.
The Tony Pollard situation is really interesting to me because we both agree the Cowboys did right in not offering a longer extension than the franchise tag. But this is, when we think about what Pollard could do this year as the feature back for the first time in his career, and you think about Saquon Barkley here, both of those guys, if they're tagged a second time, there is a massive accelerator clause being tagged a second year in a row. Mm-hmm. So you're basically, it's like I think a 20% increase on the total value.
Yeah.
So if you get tagged a second time, it's actually more than what everybody else's franchise tag is because the teams are penalized for giving a guy 2 franchise tags. So if Tony Pollard, I want to talk about it later in the week or at some point, if he balls out, what are the best options for the Cowboys? Is it giving that second franchise tag, or is that even too expensive for a running back? Because that would end up being like a $16 million hit to franchise tag. Right.
No.
But if he goes out and rushes for 1,800 yards and 15 touchdowns.
Thanks.
Exactly. Is that what you... Exactly.
Appreciate it.
And I want to talk about it more in depth at some point during camp because that's a storyline that I don't think we've necessarily talked about enough of Pollard getting the feature back role and the Cowboys wisely not extending him. But what kind of market is he going to have next offseason if he does what we all kind of think we're going to see? And that's be a top 10 back, potentially top 5.
I can give you my quick knee-jerk.
I know what your answer is going to be.
I don't give a shit.
But that's
later. Bring in the next guy.
Okay, let's do it now. There's absolutely no numbers he could put up.
No.
Man.
No. These incentives should not be on touchdowns and yards. It should be on how far we go in the postseason. But even then, you still just play running back.
Yeah.
Playing the wrong position.
I hear you.
Don't be a running back, kids. Become a wide receiver.
If Dak
or a left tackle.
Pollard comes out and has 12 rushing touchdowns and 8 or 6 receiving touchdowns and shows to be a Christian McCaffrey type of weapon. Not saying we don't know what we're going to see from him. It's his first time he's ever been a featured back. I do think there is a scenario where at minimum the Cowboys franchise tag him again. Maybe not, especially when you look at what they have behind him, and depending on the emergence of other guys like Malik or Deuce.
I so don't give a shit about running backs. I wouldn't even franchise tag him. I'd tag someone else more important.
So you wouldn't have even tagged Pollard this year?
Maybe not. Well, no. Well, had Zach. Well, it depends. Had I like Micah been a free agent?
But it was. None of them were though.
Or anybody. I know.
But that's
correct.
a hypothetical. If there had been more value for someone,
the only reason I tag a running back is because I don't have like a massively important guy at a premium position also coming up for free agency.
Would you have tagged Dalton Schultz over Pollard? Because I think that's the most logical other option.
Dalton Schultz is overrated.
Sure.
We'll never hear from him again in Houston.
Made Dalton Schultz a lot of money.
Right.
As much as people don't want to admit
He's lost. We'll never hear from Dalton Schultz again. He's just another dude. All right, Hank the Realtor is not just another dude. He is the best real estate agent around these parts, and he also happens to be Our guy, the official real estate agent of Thunderdome, is Hank the Realtor and his boys at Vortex Realty. There's a shortage of homes, and so you're thinking about cashing out, selling a house. Call Hank. Let him run them comps on your property. See what it's worth on the open market. Boy, these houses are worth a lot these days because there's just not a whole lot to go around, and there's a demand. So maybe you can go get you some big bucks and sell your home. Find out what your home is worth. Maybe your parents are thinking about downsizing, selling, a neighbor, a buddy, a brother. No obligations. Call Hank the Realtor at Vortex Realty. He's all over. He serves Bernie, New Braunfels, San Antonio. everywhere. Floresville, Castroville, all the villes, Lavernia, Pleasanton, everybody in between. It is Hank the Realtor, Vortex Realty. If you need yourself a real estate agent, oh, hey. Come on now, Hank. Oh, Hank. See. Another big news item is LeBron James' son, Bronny James, collapsed practicing on Monday with a heart attack.
Yeah.
No one told me.
I don't think he's turned 20 yet. He's just finished high school. He's getting ready to start his first year at USC. Bronny James, the McDonald's All-American, who has a chance to get drafted. He's pretty good. USC, All-American, McDonald's.
He'll be drafted because of his last name.
Probably. Well, okay.
A normal kid without LeBron's heritage would, with his skill.
He was a McDonald's All-American, or was that also because of
the last name?
Bronny James, who's got the world by the balls because of his dad.
He's a mid-second round prospect.
Had a heart attack last night.
But he'll go first
and
round.
Spent all night in the hospital in the ICU. All we know is he's been put into, he's not in ICU, he's now stable. And LeBron and his wife issued a statement begging for privacy. Obviously, they're fucking freaking out because their baby just dropped on a court.
That's awful.
Eek. Not good. That's all I got. That's all I got on that. We'll see what else comes out
The only
later
good
on.
thing is that they're now reporting at least he's stable and out of ICU.
Yeah, right.
So hopefully it's a blip on his radar and not anything long-lasting.
Some quick ass whips. We'll get out of here. John, what's whipping my ass? TxDOT needs to place barriers on Cuatro Vientos between north and southbound lanes. 3 children died yesterday in a 4-vehicle collision due to one vehicle over. You know, how often do I bitch about the construction in this town? You can't go anywhere without construction, and it's dangerous.
Yeah,
and it gets changed every other day because they're building new roads.
Explain this to me, Eric Walsh.
It's hard to drive.
Explain this to me.
Look right there.
How does Broadway get literally torn up, repaved, and finished in less than 2 weeks, but the strip takes 2 years, needs multiple construction crews, kills businesses, and you're still not fucking done with it? In fact, you're closing it down last weekend because you're still not done with it. It's
you want to make it about socioeconomics.
Because the people that they want owning that property don't currently own it. So they're trying to push everyone out so they can get the deeper pockets
Come
to
spend
buy.
the week up here on the north side. You can't go anywhere without there being construction. It's fucking ridiculous, especially up where 1604 and I-10 meet by Six Flags and the Rim. They change the lanes every day. People are swerving it, and they've had to repaint
with no sign. Yeah, so
new lanes.
It's like a Dr. Seuss movie.
And now you've got it looks like you had an old tattoo and you tried to have it removed and you put a tattoo over it. You can't tell where the lanes are. It's bullshit. This whole city's under construction and it's dangerous.
And that's bad for me because then I can't decide if I'm the one that's doing it right, so I can know I can flip somebody off for being in the wrong lane.
Absolutely. Curtis is in here. I'm pre-ass whipped because I know that Jerry Jones will show his ass today.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
I want me some glory hole.
Prepare to put more drops into the drop machine. The what do we call the El Gato? Brought to you by Shannon and Hal.
There we go.
Beans a million. People not tying down their furniture. Like, how does that keep happening where furniture falls off trucks and then no one picks them up?
I'm telling you.
It just sits there for 2 weeks. Dangerous.
The bike sat in the middle. The bike sat in the road on my way to the airport and back. I mean, it was there for over half an hour before who knows how much longer after we drove back by.
Nathan from Sunburst Gymnastics is in here. I will donate 2 3-month contracts free to Sunburst Gymnastics at y'all's raffle y'all are having. Oh, cool.
Hey, very nice. Thank you, Nate.
We're going to get heavily into raffle promotion next week. I'm going to do an appearance on Saturday, August the 5th at the Ringer Pub, Thousand Oaks and Jones Maltzberger. And we're going to give away a bunch of money to a really great cause called Guardian Community. Come have a beer with me that day. You can get one raffle ticket for $10, 3 for $25. We're going to have a lot of incentives, I think, next week for members with this raffle. I'm trying to pimp this thing at McFinnigan's tomorrow. Once we get through my live Oak Vodka tasting, I'm going to get hot and heavy in promoting this thing here. But thank you, Nathan. All right, Holmes. All right, what are you boys doing the rest of the day? LG's got to run. He's got stuff to go do. He's got to pick up a camera or something.
Oh, God, are we getting kicked out? Am I not going to get my customary back porch post-show smoke?
Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds like he's in a hurry.
You're good for a little bit.
You got a little bit.
That sounds like half a cigarette.
All right, that's it. We're done, man. You boys be good. Thanks, everybody. Hank the Realtor, R&R Auto Glass, Hardwick Mortgage, Elite Collision, Live Oak Vodka, SA City Soccer Club. Shit. You boys be good. We love you hard. We'll see you in here mañana.
Come back, you puppy!
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you.
This is a Bronx-bound 6 local train. The next stop is